In last video, we learn about how to install the CentOS Linux operating system into the VMware workstation. Everybody knows. Now we take the putty session of that server and check our Linux server disk utilization, CPU utilization, and memory utilization. Most of the people doesn't know how to check the health performance of the Linux system. So here we open our putty session. You can see my Linux server IP address, that is 135. Sorry, this is my Linux server IP address 192.168.235.132. So when I click this IP address, open this, and here you can see our server is login mode. So here I type my username and my password. So you can see we are successfully logged into the Linux servers. After that, many people doesn't know, once you log into the server, what kind of production activity need to perform. So basically, when we log into the server, first we use the top command. See, in the top command you can check my server uptime. Server uptime is last 13 minutes. How many users are login? 3 users are login, and you can check the server load average. Okay, so here we can see the three types of server load average. After that, you can check the CPU percentage, how many CPUs, how many percentage are used, and how many memories. You can see the total memory and your free memory and use memory. These are the basic things we check when we log into the servers. And you can see there is nothing, any application running into the my server. So once you do the control C, after that you can check the disk utilization, how many disk utilization running in my production servers, with the help of df hyphen th command. See, when you perform the df hyphen capital th command, you can see the file system. What kind of file system here present? My file system type is XFS. You can see there are number of partition shows, that is slash dev, okay, home. These are my OS partitions. So when we perform the df-th command, you can see the file system type, and also you can see how many percentage of my slash use. So here 4% my slash partition use. After that, I check how many memories are free into the my server. See, my total memory is 3.5 GB. Use memory is 540 MB and free memory is 2.9 GB, and rest of the memory is shared memory, buffer memory, and my available memory is 3.0 GB, means total 3 GB. After that, there is a one more command to check the CPU utilization in a second and memory utilization in a second. See, sar hyphen u com hyphen u 1 space 5. So here my command is not working. So I am install that sar package. See, I am installed the sar package. First we install these packages. We interrupt these packages and we use dnf install systat package. See, this is SAR package. Okay, we successfully install the SAR package and here we use the commands sar hyphen u 1 space 5. See, you can see the output of every second. See, every second my output is coming. My CPU is 97% is 97 99% is idle, means total my CPU is totally idle, nothing too much load running into the my Linux server. After that I use how many RAMs are used into my Linux server. See, here also not too much RAM using into the my server. My total RAM use into 6.35 percentage use. We take a demo to add the new hard disk into your Linux system through our VMware workstation. First, once you open your VMware workstation, then you can see your CentOS 10 machine. This is in offline mode. So first, we add edit virtual machine settings, then select the hardware disk, click add button and go to the next. Select SCSI device. It is automatically selected. Click next. Create a new virtual disk. Select here if that option not highlighted. Once you click here, go to the next and you can assign how much GB amount of disk you required in your production or your practice purpose. So here I take 15 GB of hard disk. Then select allocated all disk space now. Then click the next and click finish. Once you finish this option, you can see on the screen that your secondary hard disk creation is in progress. So basically here we add these hard disks for the practice purpose, but in real time scenario there is a storage team who give you the some amount of space of that hard disk to your Linux system. Why they give you? Because suppose any kind of mount point is nearby 90% or nearby 95% full, so that time you require some additional space. So for that reason they provide us the extra disk space. Once they give you the extra disk space, so later parties we need to find out that disk in that Linux system, and after that we need to format that disk. Then once we format, we need to add this disk into the file system, and after that add this disk for the fstab file. So here you can see our installation nearby completed. You can see my 50 GB hard disk is added here. Then click the OK button and start your virtual machine. So you can see our machine is started. So we open our putty session, click our IP address and open. Here you can see the login prompt is come and we type the password. Yes, we can successfully log in into the machine. Now you can see, okay, here is no extra additional hard disks added, and even though when we check lsblk command, you can see my SDB hard disk is added here. Okay, so what is our next step? I want this 15 GB hard disk added into the my file system. When we enter the df-th command, that time I want to see my 15 GB disk space over here. So for that there is a one utility fdisk utility. When you enter the fdisk-l, it shows us how many devices are added into your file system. So you can currently see here disk slash dev slash SDA 100 GB. That disk have three partition SDA 1, 2, 3. Basically this partition goes to BIOS boot, extended boot and Linux LVM. And second hard disk you can see here disk slash dev slash HDB 15 GB. So that 15 GB have single partition, means that disk is totally raw. No swap partition, no home partition inside that disk. We basically use this disk for to save the data or to create a new point over that disk. So first we format this disk with the help of fdisk command. fdisk slash dev slash sdb. Enter. So fdisk is a utility to format the new hard disk into the Linux system. Once you use the fdisk slash dev slash hdb command, you can see there is a one command prompt is coming. Once you type M means for help, you can see there are lots of options here. DOS, generic, miscellaneous, script, save and exit, create a new label. Okay. So here first we need to format this disk. So for that we use N option, add a new partition. When we enter N, so it asks me partition type. So here we select P for primary partition. Then partition number, I am using default. First sector, use default. And last sector, I am also set to the default. Okay. Once you set the default option, you can see create a new partition. Sorry. Here we can see the message created a new partition 1 of type Linux and of size 15 GB. Okay. So when we select P option, so you can see my slash dev slash hdb hard disk is ready for the mount, and W we can write these formatted hard disks into the partition table. So when we use fdisk-l command, so now here you can see my slash dev slash hdb1 is showing 15 GB size, means we can successfully formatted our slash dev slash hdb hard disk. Now we create one file system, mkdir slash data. Sorry, my data is already exist. So I'll give the different name, data work. Okay. And after that, I mount this file system to data work slash data work. Here we can see wrong fstab, wrong fs type, bad option, bad superblock SDA1, missing code page or helper program. Let me check the error. We check this error into the Google. Now we use the chat GPT to check how to resolve this error. First we check file system type with the help of blkid command. First we check that hard disk ID with the help of blkid command. After that we use xfs underscore repair command to check any bad blocks having in our existing file system. It takes time to repair our blocks. You can face this kind of error into the production system also, but here we can add these hard disks for the practice purpose. So when we add these hard disks, we can face some challenges to mount the new file system into the Linux server. So now we repair this hard disk with the help of xfs repair command. So now it takes little time to repair that hard disk. Yeah, we can see there is one message shows sorry couldn't find a valid secondary super block. Now this window is exists. So now after that we use this command. We try to mount with mount -t xfs option. No, it shows still same error. Okay, here we got our mistake, what we missed here. See, when we add here that SDB disk, after that we can format this disk. But after that we need to format this disk /dev /sdb1. Once we format this disk, then we need to mount that disk, mount /dev /sdb1 /data1. See, we successfully mount this disk. Okay, why? So you can see live error here. Why we not mount that file system into the Linux? Because that Linux system doesn't know which file system is present here. On latest CentOS 10 or RHEL 10 or any other operating system, when we format the hard disk, we need to give which kind of file system present into the Linux system. So after format the hard disk, we forget to give the file system to that /dev /sdb disk. Once we format that disk and assign proper file system, after that we can successfully mount that slash dev slash hdb1 disk into the data1 directory. In last lecture, we learned about how to add the new hard disk into the Linux system. Now you can see in df-th command, we can add slash dev slash hdb1 hard disk into the file system, and this disk mount to the slash data1. But the question is, suppose when I reboot this machine, then can I get my external hard disk or external mount point back to the my Linux system? So let's see when we reboot the system, so our new mount point is automatically added or not. Here I am reboot my system. Once I enter the reboot command, my puttu shell is gone. So I go to the my main console into VMware workstation, and here I see my machine is ready to boot. You can see the operating system logs when your machine is booted. So it takes little time to boot your system into the normal mode. Yeah, our Linux system is successfully rebooted and you can see your login prompt. So go to the your putty session, right click and restart the session. When you restart the session, you can see the login option. Type your username and then password. Yeah. When you successfully logged in, after that use df-th command. See my new mount point slash dev slash hdb is not present. Why? Because we need to add this entry into the fstab. Now, what is fstab? In fstab, you can mention what mount point we need to add it in simple term. Fstab is a utility. You can add your mount point into the file system. Means you want to permanently add this disk into that fstab file. In simple term, it is used for permanent mounting. fstab used for permanent mounting. This is the interview question. If someone asks you what is fstab, give simple answer. It is used for the permanent mounting. You can see in your fstab there are lots of options here like UUID. In that UUID, it mentions slash slash boot home none option. And what is a file system type is here XFS. So first we check First we check BLK ID. Yeah, you can see here my slash dev slash hdb1. What is a BLK ID or UUID? Suppose you want to give any disk UUID, so you can use BLK ID command. With the help of BLK ID, you can get that hard disk UUID number. It is a unique number. So first we go to the slash etc fstab file, and before going to that file we copy that UUID, and for copy option we can use 1YYP. Then press the I button for the insert and delete this UUID and click your slash dev slash hdb1 UUID. Give here file system name slash data data1. Which file system do you use in that slash dev slash hdb1? XFS file system, and rest of the things is default and 00. What is the meaning of this? We can see the later what is a XFS default and 00 options present in the fstab file. So first we can understand how to add this slash dev slash hdb1 entries into the fstab file. Press escape button colon wq, enter, and also see that entry is properly added or not with the help of cat slash etc fstab command. You can see that slash data1 and slash dev slash hdb1 UUID present here. So simply use mount command, mount -a and df-th command. Why we use mount -a command? Because it reflects all HDDs. After that, using mount -a command, you can see there is one command you can see into the window, systemctl reload daemon. This is a older version command. Basically, this command used for say CentOS or Red Hat 6, 7, that flavor. So we use here also, means next time you can use mount -a command, so that message will not come. So you can see here we can add slash dev slash hdb1 entries into the fstab file, and after that we can use mount -a command. So when we use mount -a command, our slash dev slash hdb disk automatically add into the file system. Even though when we use only mount command, so that time you can see, sorry, more information about the disk. What kind of information you can see? Our disk is rewritable, real time, then sec label, inodes, that these information we can see under the mount option. Now let's reboot our system and see the my mount point will be automatically added or not. Here we use reboot-f command. Let's check what happened. You can see your machine is successfully rebooted. Now go to your command prompt, just hit the enter. You can see your putty session is gone. We need to again restart the session, give the username, then password, and use the df-th command. Oh, you can see my slash dev slash hdb1 is mounted successfully after reboot your Linux machine. Means the main important factor is your slash etc fstab file. Suppose if you forget to add this entry into the fstab file, so next time, any day, anytime you can reboot your machine, then whatever your external mount point, for example, your one mount point, two mount point, or X mount point is present into the Linux system, and you forget to add this into the slash etc fstab file. Once you reboot the machine, your mount point will be gone. Means your mount point not automatically added after reboot the machine. So make sure once you add the external hard disks and these hard disks mount to any file system, make sure you can add this entry into the fstab file. I hope you can enjoy this session.